All right, we're back. This is part 3. It should be a quick one. I just have a little bit more on the descriptive statistics and graphs. So we just looked at a single numeric variable, like the height of the vehicle or the wheelbase of the vehicle. But often it's interesting or can lead us to important conclusions if we can look at the relationship between two variables, one of which is categorical and one of which is numeric. So I like to do this using the comparative box plots. So go to Analyze. But again, if we have two variables, that's a fit y by x situation. All right, so for the comparative box plots, you'll need to put your categorical variable as x. So I'm going to look at different types of vehicles, and I would like to compare them for their highway miles per gallon. So that will be y. Okay. If you reverse these, you will not end up with comparative box plots. So make sure it's categorical x and numeric y. And then press OK. All right, so we get initially these side-by-side dot plots. You're used to seeing dot plots oriented horizontally, but these are oriented vertically. But our y-axis is measuring, how much or how many miles per gallon each vehicle gets. And we can sort of see by where the dots are positioned that there are certain types that tend to have higher fuel economy, like the hatchbacks seem to be pretty efficient, whereas the lower ones, like the 7-passenger, are not as efficient. So to get the box plots, pull down on that red triangle and add in the quantiles. Okay, so it'll overlay box plots on each of these. And as well, we'll get the quantiles split up by each category. So for instance, in the 7 passengers, well, their minimum was 18, their maximum was 28. Their fuel economy is not very good. The hatchbacks, though, their minimum is 33, their maximum is 44. And in between, we can see the 25% is the first quartile, the median, and the third quartile. Okay. But the graph, I guess, the picture is worth 1,000 words, so we can get a good insight into what patterns there are. For instance, the sporty cars, SUVs, and wagons generally have kind of similar distributions. The sedans show a lot of variability. They're all over the place. And then, like we discussed, the hatchbacks are pretty consistently high values, whereas the 7 passengers are consistently low values. Okay, so that concludes the part 1 of the assignment, or the tutorial corresponding to part 1 of the assignment, where you'll be creating some figures and then using those to answer some questions. Coming up in part 2, we're going to talk about the sampling distribution of the mean.